Welcome to another edition of Wildcat Weekly with Deuce Vaughn here on EMA Online. I'm Mason Voth. Deuce kind enough to join us as he gets ready for Oklahoma this weekend as the Wildcats will start conference play for the second time in your career on the road in Norman. This time it'll be different circumstances because when you were there 2 years ago, it was the middle of COVID, wasn't a packed stadium at all, but you guys came away with a pretty nice outcome in that one. So before we hit on anything that's going on right now, what are some of your memories and reflections from that game that you got to play in Norman 2 years ago?
Um, that was a wild game. It was my first start ever, so I'll never forget. It was during the COVID year and everything like that, so everything was crazy. And Coach Anderson said, "Hey, you're gonna get your first start, and we're playing the number 3 team in the nation in Norman. Big time game. It's on Fox noon. It's one of those things where, man, a lot of nerves, a lot of anxiousness going into the game, and then during the game it was one of those things where we were down 21, but the entire team, everybody on the sideline, kind of just knew we weren't losing that football game. We were going to walk out of there with a win, and that belief, that competitiveness that we had that entire day, it really forced us into that win. And something that man, I've kind of been preaching the entire week, telling guys that, man, we've been in this situation before, coming off of a loss and then going into a big time game, and this is where you bounce back.
You've been a part of two of them, but all 3 years so far that Coach Kleiman has faced Oklahoma, they've won the first two, and then last year was a pretty close game in Manhattan. What is it about this game and this matchup with Oklahoma that allows you guys to hang so tough and be right there with one of the best teams in the country?
I couldn't tell you the exact science, but I feel like it's always been a little edgy for us throughout the week, getting ready for this game. A lot of kids that are from Kansas, from a Texas, that were overlooked by Oklahoma, were overlooked by a program of, I guess you could say, their prestige in a sense. And we went to the school, and Coach Anderson said today, the little team up north in a sense, compared to them. It's one of those things where the preparation, how we take care of our business throughout the week has to heighten. And I feel like whenever we get out there, it's a common belief between the entire team that we're not going to lose this football game. And throughout the trials and tribulations that go on throughout that game, it's always going to have that belief in the back of our head, no matter what.
Coming off the game against Tulane as an offensive player, what's the mindset and the feeling like afterwards when you guys only score 10 points and you come away with a loss? What do you do? How do you react? And what's this week been like for you guys in the response?
At first, reflection, looking back on the things that uh, probably didn't go right for us. And we understand that there's some things that we 100% have to be better at. And then, of course, as soon as Monday hits, it's the get back. It's the get back week. This is the bounce back week. You have to have a great week of preparation, great week of practice, a great week of getting into the film room with your teammates, with your coaches to get back to playing the football that you know this offense can play at. And 3 for 20 on third and fourth down is unacceptable. Execution wise, something that we talked about, something that we discussed, and going into this game, it's going to be very crucial because if you can't pick up third downs and fourth down and short, it's going to be a long game. You have to keep the chains moving. And that's something that we discussed throughout the week. But we've also understood that we can't get outside of ourselves. We understand that we have to go out there and play our game, and that's what we're going to do this weekend.
A lot was made of the cramps that you dealt with in the game against Tulane. And had you ever experienced that in a game before? Or was that the first time in game that you had dealt with something like that?
This was my first time since I think my sophomore year in high school. My sophomore year in high school, I cramped up in a game, but this one was, I mean, it was full leg cramps in a sense, and chopped up to many things throughout the week that happened. But it was frustrating as all get out, and man, I'm ready to get back onto the field. And trust me, I'm as hydrated as yeah as can be right now as far as going into this game.
I was going to say, what's the regiment been like this week to make sure
Uh,
you're hydrated?
Oh man, I probably use the bathroom 2 to 3 times during practice now. The amount of fluids that I've been taking, everything like that, and just making sure that I just uptake it, especially going from a Mizzou game that was 60 degrees and raining to a 90-degree game against Tulane at 2 o'clock. It's probably one of those things that I just didn't do well with was my hydration intake.
going to be a night game, but still very warm. Expected temperature in Norman this weekend, so I'm sure something that you guys are all going to be on top of. And then, I mean, so we know cramps. First time you've dealt with that in game. Is it also the first time that you've had to deal with going in and getting an IV or something like that during the course of it? And what's that like for you mentally? Or, I mean, are you a guy scared of needles or anything?
So it was my first time ever getting an IV, and man, my adrenaline was going. I was ready to get back on the field to the point where I was like, you can poke me, you can do whatever you need to do. They ended up poking me, I think, 4 times to try and get it in there correctly. And I'm just like, it got to the point where I was like, I'll just go back on the field without the IV. Like I feel fine, but I'm glad we did got the IV in me to be able to stop the cramping in the locker room.
Now, the cramps were a thing, but it seemed like maybe towards the end of the second quarter, like an ankle got tweaked or something. Was there something like that that happened on a play, or is there anything that's been lingering from that?
Oh no, sir. I end up actually I know exactly what you're talking about. I end up getting tackled and my shoe came off, and I looked and I was like, it kind of caught me off guard, but my shoe had just kind of came off. So I was sitting there, kind of trying to put it on while I was still on the ground, and then didn't get it all the way on. So when I'm running off the field, it looked like I was almost limping. I was trying to put it back on.
Okay. Did you look down for a second and think that maybe you had like a Dak Prescott ankle
I,
or
I
something?
look,
Like,
I look,
did
the foot was going this way, and I was like, well, that doesn't look good. And I was like, my shoe just came off. There was because it was one of those things with like no pain, so I was like, maybe I'm in shock, and I was like, no, no, the shoe just kind of came off. But yeah.
with everything that's gone on this week, have you noticed the difference in how teams have tried to defend you this season compared to even the first 2 years, where obviously they knew that you were a big part of what you guys do offensively? But is there even a different level to that this season?
Oh, yes, sir. Of course, you see more 7, 8 man boxes and things like that. You see more fold players in the run fits. You see safeties feeling faster. You see players trying to really, really do a great job of staying in their gaps as far as run fits go. Because that's one of the things that, as far as run game, as a running back, you can feel when people get out of their gaps when they crash hard, whenever they slant, and it opens up. But Doohan just did. I feel like Tulane did a really good job of staying in their run fits and being patient as well. And then, of course, out in the passing game, I mean, there have been some times I get split out and a corner will come out there instead of a linebacker. A safety will roll down instead of a linebacker. And just things like that, which opens up more things for our offense. So it's exciting to see. And, man, I can't wait till we get to capitalize off of it.
As a junior now, year three, coming off of something like a loss or any tough moment, you're probably looked to even more now than ever since you've been in the program for a while. What's it like being one of the leaders and one of the guys that's expected to say something and kind of set the example for everybody else on the team?
It's an honor, really, just because I've been able to sit back and watch guys like Skylar Thompson, Noah Johnson, Jerron McPherson, a Timmy Horn last year, a Cade Warner last year, guys that, I mean, I got to kind of sit back and watch the way that they commanded people throughout the facility, the way that they went about their business and things like that in the leadership role, and got to really kind of embody exactly what they instilled. And it's been really cool to be able to step into this role. It's crazy to think that this is my 3rd year here, and I'm like a veteran now. But it's something that I take a lot of pride in. Just understanding that when things start getting to rolling, people are going to look to you, and you have to be there uh, in confidence and ready to support every single person on the offense and defense. That's something that I've really taken encouraged myself, not only myself, people that have also grown in this program with me to help me in that.
What's the response been like this week from your quarterback, Adrian Martinez? It tough week last night for or last week for everybody in the passing game. Really, have you noticed anything different about him on his approach or something that's changed this week?
Absolutely. Man, in practice, I mean, even today, he's a lot more fiery. If something goes wrong, he's asking for the bingo. He's like, hey, get back on the line. We're doing this again. Things like that, that kind of, okay, like it gives you like a sense of, okay, like the sense of urgency is here. Like, let's go, let's do it. And the way that he's commanded the huddle this week, I mean, it hasn't changed. He's always done a great job of commanding the huddle, but it's more fierce. We have loud noises going on at practice, and he's commanding the huddle. He's asking them, hey, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, and things like that. So it just kind of gives you a sense of, man, he's ready to go, and somebody that we're going to play behind.
With talking about the 2020 OU game earlier, that's obviously a big win, but odd circumstances. Is there a game that sticks out to you right now that's been your favorite or a favorite moment that you've played in at K-State, or would that be the one even with COVID year and everything else?
That was the one, definitely, just because of my first start, first time really playing on a big time stage, and to get the performance from the team and myself like that to help contribute and get a big time win over at the time a top 5 team in the nation, coming off of a really big loss to Arkansas State. It was one of those things that I'll hold with me for forever, just because of the circumstance inside the game and everything that went into it.
It can be a long season. What are some of the things during the season away from football that you kind of do to relax and decompress and just try to have a moment to where you can breathe?
Man, anytime that I have time to spend time with my roommates, Felix, TJ, Josh, and I'm always with those guys. Whenever we leave the facility, we usually come home and give ourselves about an hour together, just talk about anything, get away from football, get away from school, get away from the stresses of everything, and just kind of sit up in the living room, watch TV, watch a game like tonight, Thursday night games on, which we were watching upstairs, and just things like that to kind of give ourselves just a sense of relax, but also understanding that you can't keep the game and everything too far away from yourself. But that's really the biggest thing.
So you're wearing the Felix sweatshirt right now.
Well,
Who's got the best NIL merch on the team?
who Felix? I do like Felix's stuff just because his material is really good. Adrian's the 9 a.m. with him throwing on the run by Barstool is really, really, really nice. Omar Daniels has a whole bunch of stuff. Backpacks. He has shades. He has T-shirts, hoodies, pants. He's somebody that I've actually a couple of weeks ago just ordered all of his stuff. So man, I can't wait. He's got like the OD with like a strap on it. So man, that's something that is real, real cool.
Oh, that's a good business decision by him because everybody, ends up with shirts and everything. But if he's getting stuff that's even more practical, it's like you got to have a backpack, you got to have a pair of shades. So I like that.
Yeah, man, he's gonna be a real good player for us. I can't wait for y'all to unleash everything that he can do.
Thinking of NIL and everything, and we know that NCAA football is coming back as a video game next year with EA Sports. What is your pitch right now to EA Sports to be on the cover of the next NCAA football game?
Oh man, first and foremost, that'd be big time because I always wanted to be on the cover of college football. Man, NCAA football. I'm 14. I still play it to this day. First and foremost, so I guess that would be my pitch right there. And I still play NCAA 14. I got a dynasty up right now. So yeah, man.
Who is the go-to team that you would play with in NCAA
I
football?
like to do rebuilds. So like right now I got UTSA. They're like a 2-star prestige team. And right now I'm on like season 3. Yeah, I'm on season 3, but I've gone through, I've done Minnesota, I've done all types of teams. Like I love doing rebuilds, but right now I'm on season 3 and we just went like I think it was 8-4. And just got a freshman quarterback. I mean, it's fun to play, man. It's really fun to play.
Yeah, I that was the only reason I still had like my Xbox 360. And then I think like a week or two before the season kicked off, I tried plugging it in, and all of a sudden it's locking up every single time I try playing. So I think I'm going to go a year without playing, and then when they come out with a new game, I'll get back into it next year.
I'll definitely be hopping on whenever it comes out because I mean, this the nostalgia of everything. It's gonna be fun to play.
A couple of other quick questions to have a little fun as we finish out here. If you got the chance to take one former K State football player and you could play with him right now, who would it be?
Uh, I gotta go L. Roberson or Michael Bishop, just because I've seen their highlights, the way they played the game. I'd love to be in the huddle with those dudes.
Well, I think those are two very solid picks because both of them were very successful and both have. I guess when you get two Ring of Honor guys too, like that's a big thing.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll
Have
do it.
have have you thought at all about maybe getting to be one of those guys one day where you're back, however many years from now, and they're putting 22 Deuce Vaughn up on the side of the stadium?
Of course. It's just crazy to even think about, especially just because coming into K State, that was never on my mind. Really, I was just trying to do anything I could to get onto the football field and to man, even be mentioned with the Ring of Honor at Kansas State. Unbelievable, first and foremost, but understand that the work's not done. Got a lot of work to do, and man, gonna do everything in my best possible interest to be the best Kansas State football player I can be, and then everything else to take care of itself.
All right, well, Deuce, we appreciate it. We'll let you get back to watching your football on Thursday night, and best of luck this weekend against the Sooners.
I appreciate you so much.
All right, thanks.